This label speeds up your decision, and you rarely notice it. It's not the product, and it's not the price. It is the scarcity signal. You're still comparing options, but your brain has already shifted into don't miss out mode. The product hasn't changed, the specs are the same, and the price is identical. But the moment a limit appears, your entire strategy changes. It doesn't matter whether the number says 3, 10, or 20. What matters is the limitation itself. As soon as scarcity enters the frame, your decision-making process shifts from analyze and compare to act before it's gone. You stop evaluating value and start evaluating risk, and risk moves faster than analysis. These signals are everywhere: marketplaces, flight booking sites, hotel platforms, online courses, and subscription services. The wording changes, but the mechanism doesn't. The goal is simple: to shorten the time between impulse and purchase. Let's look at how this works in practice. You open a booking site, and a hotel room shows a red tag, only 2 rooms left. Your attention tightens, and you feel a pressure that is subtle but real. Now refresh the page in an incognito window. Sometimes the number changes, and sometimes it doesn't move at all for hours. That is the key distinction. You are not looking at a warehouse, you are looking at an interface, and interfaces can simulate limitation. Some platforms add another layer, a countdown timer ticking away the seconds. Now you're not only racing your own hesitation, you're racing against an expiring window of opportunity. Even if the inventory is stable, the environment feels unstable because this artificial deadline doesn't just reduce your time, it increases tension, and tension seeks resolution. The product stays the same and the data doesn't change, but the context does. The second a limit appears, your cognitive frame narrows. This isn't just emotion, it's a measurable shift in processing where the brain prioritizes potential loss over potential gain. There's a simple principle behind this. Losses feel stronger than gains. Gaining is pleasant, but losing is painful, and avoiding pain becomes more urgent than evaluating value. Neurologically, this shift happens fast. The scarcity cue activates threat sensitivity systems before rational analysis fully engages. First, the brain registers limitation, then tension rises, and only after that does deliberate reasoning enter the process. By that point, your direction has already tilted. You begin looking for reasons to justify the purchase, not because the product improved, but because time feels compressed. That compression is artificial, but your nervous system reacts as if it's real. Even if you understand the tactic, the mechanism still runs. Awareness reduces intensity, but it doesn't shut the system down, because scarcity changes the sequence of evaluation. Normally, you ask, "Do I need this?" Under scarcity, the question becomes, "What if I lose this?" That seems like a small difference, but it isn't. The first question evaluates usefulness, while the second protects against regret, and regret avoidance is powerful. Sometimes scarcity is real, limited editions, event tickets, or genuine low inventory. But in digital environments, scarcity is often behavioral design. Numbers can update dynamically, vary between users, and be calibrated to maintain urgency without ever reaching zero. You're not seeing stock levels, you're seeing a behavioral trigger designed for speed. Speed drives conversion because the less time you spend thinking, the less likely you are to compare alternatives or postpone the purchase. A pause threatens the sale, so scarcity removes the pause, narrows the window, and accelerates commitment. It is not dramatic or accidental, it is structural. So how do you regain control? Slow the sequence. When you see a scarcity signal, insert a delay and ask one question. If this message weren't here, would I still want this? If the answer is yes, the decision is yours. If hesitation appears, you're likely reacting to the trigger, not the product. The goal isn't to eliminate these signals, they're built into the digital environment. The goal is to see the mechanism. Once you recognize the moment your strategy shifts, speed loses its authority, and the decision becomes deliberate again. Not slower, just yours.